Hello everyone, this is Breanna Rutter from howtoblackhair.com. And in this video, I will be talking about what is the best hair treatment for dry and brittle hair. The best hair treatment for dry and brittle hair is simply healthy hair practices. So I hope you weren't stumbling upon this video to find the secret ingredient or the secret product to fix your hair issues. It really starts with the way that you treat your hair by giving it its basic needs. So in this video, I will be addressing 6 reasons as to why your hair may be dry and or brittle. The first reason as to why you may have issues with your hair being dry or brittle is because of the way that you handle your hair or the constant manipulation that your hair goes through. So to a lot of people, this doesn't make sense because if I'm combing my hair, wearing my hair in styles, how is this bad for my hair? If you're over manipulating your hair as you comb your hair by continually combing it while it's wet or dry and putting too much tension on your strands, this leads to breakage. The more your hair inappropriately sheds, the worse your hair condition gets. And sometimes this leads to dry hair and brittle hair. Also, even with the styles you wear, if you change your style and manipulate your hair every single day, you probably have an issue with keeping your hair moisturized, which leads to dry and brittle hair. So make sure that handling your hair is at a minimum, just enough to get your style set, and then to avoid over manipulating your hair with styles, just wear a couple of styles maybe a couple of times a week or throughout the month. My second reason as to why you may be experiencing brittle or dry hair is because of an overuse of sulfate shampoos. So first of all, using sulfate shampoos on African American hair is pretty stripping because sulfates are very powerful cleansing agents. So the more sulfates you have on your hair, the more drier it leaves your hair after you wash. So make sure that when you are using shampoos, it's free of sulfates and it's very cleansing on your hair. In the description box below, I have a link that's describing why sulfates you shouldn't use them on your hair, and I also give my suggestion with the shampoos that I personally use and shampoos that I suggest for your hair. The third reason as to why your hair may be experiencing these issues is because it's not balanced with enough moisture or protein. So across the board with African American hair, whether you chemically relax your hair or your hair is natural, you have to always make sure you have either enough protein in your hair if you're lacking that, or enough moisture in your hair. But the biggest thing with natural hair is making sure it stays moisturized, while the biggest issue with chemically relaxed hair is making sure there's enough protein. So a way to kind of test whether or not my hair has enough balance of protein or moisture in it is to test your hair while it is wet and product free. While your hair is wet and product free, simply run your hands along your hair and also comb your hair as well. If your hair seems to feel extremely springy and it snaps back or easily breaks, then you have too much protein in your hair and you want to incorporate more moisture. Also, if you're combing your hair and it seems to stretch way longer than what it's supposed to, and it often snaps or feels very limp or gummy, then you probably have too much moisture in your hair and you want to incorporate protein. So also in the description box below, I have a link to How to Black Hair website, and I talk about what you want to use to make sure you balance your moisture and protein with your hair. My fourth reason as to why your hair may be dry or brittle is because it's in constant contact with moisture absorbance. So just think about the things that you put on your hair or what you lay your head on, from when you go to bed or you wear a hat or a scarf or any type of materials on your head. You really want to make sure that you stay away from cotton and wool because they're very absorbent materials. Now it's fine to use a cotton towel when you're drying your hair, but you don't want to wear these materials on your hair all day or every day. So make sure when you go to bed to protect your hair from becoming dry and brittle by either using a silk pillowcase for your pillows or wearing a silk scarf to protect your hair. Also, if you have a favorite wool hat or a cotton hat, line your hat with some form of material that won't absorb moisture from your hair. So the fifth reason as to why you may be experiencing issues with your hair is because the ends of your hair are naturally more porous. This simply means that the ends of your hair are the oldest, which makes it harder for it to hold in moisture. As your hair gains length and as you go down more towards your hair strands, you start to lose more scales that's on the outside of your hair shaft. The scales that are on the outside of your hair close to constrict to keep in moisture, and it opens to release moisture. So as your hair becomes older, especially at the very ends, it doesn't have as many scales to keep moisture inside of your hair. So even when you wet it, sometimes it seems to just get dry again. That's why it's very important that when your hair is wet, you use some type of oil to keep the moisture trapped in to help your hair remain moisturized. So this very thing is something that you can fix, but if you've tried everything, maybe your hair is just naturally on a little bit of a dry side. So my final and last reason, number 6, is why you may have dry and brittle hair is because you need to cut, trim, or dust those ends. So make sure that you keep on top of this when it's necessary. You don't have to cut your hair every 3 weeks, 4 weeks, or 8 weeks. You just want to look at your hair and be able to see where damage is. If you notice that you have a lot of single strand knots at the end of your hair or a lot of split ends, then it's probably time to cut those ends off. And you don't have to go drastic. You can simply twist each section of your hair in small sections and just use your scissors to snip those very small frayed ends. This will help your hair a lot from feeling dry and brittle. So me personally, when I went natural, I was natural for about 2 years before I even cut my hair. And my hair was at the same length for a long time, and I would have a few stringy strands that stuck up from my hair because I wasn't trimming my hair. Every day my hair felt dry and brittle no matter how many moisture treatments or protein treatments I did. But as soon as I cut my hair was perfect, it felt beautiful, and it actually held moisture in a lot better. So make sure you're trimming your ends when you notice that they're starting to just get a little ratty or a little see-through-ish. You want to make sure that you cut them so your hair can remain healthy. So those are my best tips for treating your hair when it is dry and brittle. Remember that there is no secret ingredient or product that's going to fix your hair situations. You first of all just have to have healthy hair practices in order for your hair to grow and flourish. So be sure to check out howtoblackhair.com for more articles and how-to videos like these.